Can I give a couple of examples from my own experience, which you might want to comment on? The one is about product service systems, which is, like a commercial car club. Now, because I live in a city centre, it's an obvious option because there are a lot of cars available nearby within 5 minutes walk, and with other technologies I can go on the internet and book it easily and get a car very often. Because often it's not a question just of ownership, but ownership in order to control, to have access and know when I need a car, it's there. But if I'm a bit out of the sticks, and buses aren't so frequent and there are not so many cars around in the car club, and therefore there's more competition for cars available, I won't have that access and control in the same way, or the access anyway. So that's one concern I had, and the other factor is that on the benefit side I save so much money. So the economics and the cost is a real benefit, and I feel good about it. So I happen to live in the right place, basically, and I really understand people who don't. They have to find other ways of sharing transport if they wish to reduce their travel costs, and at the same time have a car for weekends or something when they don't want to share.
Well, when we move from perhaps something like car ownership to relying on the car club more and multiple modes of transport in the jargon, such as using buses and trains and everything, then actually what we get is a change in the distribution of costs and benefits. But actually we may not have the costs of purchasing a car and maintaining a car, but actually there are potentially other costs associated with having a car club that we may not be able to access a car just when we like. So there may be some social costs in there. And I think that's true as we've gone through time and technology has developed. What we get are different distributions of costs and benefits. And I think for sure it is very important to have technologies and environmental solutions which make sense as far as make financial sense. I think that's really important. But also there may be some costs in there that some people may be willing to pay in order to protect the environment and improve environmental performance. And that may be an example of one of them, John, that you've highlighted.
Can I give one other example? And that's that it's more to do with how I use a product rather than a product service system. So it relates more generally to what you were talking about. We have actually, on the back of our house we've got double glazing at PVC, we've got some insulation. In the front of the house we've got draft proofing. So our house is much better insulated and our roof's insulated, and we're much more energy efficient, and we've got a modern boiler and so on, which is energy efficient as far as they can be today. And the question I have is, we've actually seen, well, how do we adjust? Do we turn the thermostat down? What do we do? Because my wife and I, we have different preferences for room temperatures on a cold winter's evening, and so on. And we've been exploring that, literally. How do we want to get a benefit out of this rather than have the boiler just on the same thermostat level and spending just as much money on gas and polluting or whatever, using up just as much as we used to. So the kind of solution we realised that this house gets warm it retains heat much better. So what we do is turn the boiler off in the morning run an hour earlier and turn it off in the evening an hour earlier. So we've saved 2 hours of boiler time for house heating a day, and we can play with the thermostat in a more negotiable level with one central wireless control between us. So
well, I'm sure you don't want to reveal your household negotiations then, John. Well, that's very, very interesting. But like I said earlier, I think that one of the things that these technologies give you are choices. It gives you options, and options for management. And it's really giving households options to how they may manage their environmental performance. Yeah. I don't think that's an issue of concern for some big brother central government activity to be controlling the temperature of people's houses, but I do think it's a case of actually people being able to make a choice about how warm or not they may choose their household to be. The standard apparently is 22 degrees, but I think a lot more people, even like me, I was brought up in a cold house in the country, about 16 to 18 degrees and a jumper. It's absolutely fine for me. But there again, it's an example of a change in practice, putting a jumper on as opposed to turning the boiler on. So it's just a different approach.
And the amount of time you have the boiler on, which is very interesting.
That's right.
It suddenly dawned on me that you could turn it off an hour earlier. And it's made, we don't miss it. It's lovely. Thanks very much, Matt, for those comments. I just thought it was useful to get a couple of examples out.